today richer than it was before. Got some good times knocking upon your front door.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Another episode. It's Thursday, Friday Eve, and that means it's Throwback Thursday. Stop clapping, everyone. This is my Throwback Thursday. Did y'all know that I used to own a fashion truck? I've done many odd things. When people always tell me, when I tell them what I do, no matter what it is, they're like, you do what? You host a talk show? You own a fashion truck? For 2 years, from 2015 to 2017, I owned a fashion truck, just like a food truck, only in my truck, I had racks of clothes. I had a dressing room, and you would walk inside of it, try on clothes, and I had a little register, and it was fun. I would travel around to festivals and park on the street, and people would just come in and shop. And then I had to move. I did that when I lived in Maryland, and then I had to move from Maryland to Texas, and did not want to take that truck that did not have air conditioning to Texas, so I sold it. But that was an adventure, to say the least. I bought that truck when I first moved to Maryland, and then I bought it from someone. I drove to Washington, D.C., bought the truck, drove it all the way back, took it to a mechanic, and it had all kinds of problems. So it spent like 6 months at the mechanic, and I finally got it back, $15,000 later. It was a really good business decision. I made really, really good decisions in my life. A lot of people have been asking on an update about my dad. If you watched last week, my dad has been going through cancer after cancer after cancer since 1992. He's got another diagnosis, and he was supposed to have surgery last week, which got postponed because they wanted to do an MRI, which got rescheduled to today. So I heard from him this morning. He's on his way to his doctor now for the MRI to see if it's connected to whatever. I don't know how this all works. You would think I would after all this time, but I don't. And so all of your well wishes, all of your love and support to him, please send that out today for him. He only has half of his nose left, so hopefully good things are going to happen today. All right. That's it, because we have a really good show, so I just feel like we should get to it. Also, the jet and helicopter crash last night. I mean, what is happening in the world? I saw this morning that they don't think there are any survivors, of course, and just awful. I don't even know what to say. It makes my eye twitch. All this too much stress. My eye has been twitching. I don't like it. We're gonna laugh today. I titled this show "Live, Laugh, Love" because I think that phrase is funny, and we've got a great story about life and about love, and we've got a lot of laughter today. So we're gonna be right back after this break and start the show. All right, we'll be right back.
Hey, love. You're listening right now wondering if you can get really clear about your own next step, about how to navigate whatever messy thing that's sitting in front of you. And the answer is yes. Even if you don't know right now in this moment, or it feels really weird or scary to follow whatever it is you want to do, you absolutely can through coaching. It's a safe place to explore it all and take action using your head and your heart. Email me at stacy@stacyandon.com. Find out all the details and have a no strings chat together.
Oh, thanks. Stop with all the clapping, would you? Our first guest is a hilarious comedian and talented actor who took a leap of faith and chased his dreams all the way to Hollywood. From rocking the stage at his temple to becoming the king of comedy clubs, please welcome the one and only, and I'm probably going to butcher his name, he's going to yell at me, Anand Mahalingam. Hello, sir.
Hello. Thank you so much. I love everything about what I'm seeing with this show. Can I just say?
Well, thanks.
It's awesome. This is
It's
great.
even better now that you're part of it. It looks even better.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
How are you this morning?
I'm good. It is pretty cold here in LA, actually. People don't realize it gets pretty cold in the mornings and the evenings during wintertime. So, but it's nice. It's very energetic. I feel very energized being up this early.
Good. Well, I was just talking to someone from Hawaii, and she had electric hand warmers because it was a freezing cold 65 degrees in Hawaii that day, and she was cold. So I didn't feel any sympathy for her. But
No,
what is it
normally,
actually cold
normally you
there?
wouldn't. It's 45
Okay.
degrees here right now, which is for us, it's pretty cold. Again, it is not. I agree. I don't think you should have much sympathy for me, but it's okay. I have plenty of sympathy for myself,
Yeah,
so
no,
I don't need to share.
45 is pushing it. That's like I'm from Wisconsin, so it's like negative 20 there right now.
Right.
So,
I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania originally,
oh,
so
so
I'm
you
used to
know.
yeah, I'm used to much colder temperatures, but I haven't lived in Pittsburgh full time for 10 years. So I'm very much a Californian acclimated to this kind of weather. My blood is.
Did you move out there to work to do the acting thing, the comedy? You're hilarious, you're
Thank you.
talented,
Thank
and you
you.
thought Pittsburgh is not the place for me.
Pretty much. I actually moved out here to write and direct. That was my first thought. I was like, I'm not good looking enough to be in front of the camera. Let me do the. I was like, I'm a tall, skinny, awkward Indian guy from Pittsburgh. Nobody really cares about that. So let me just like I can just write and direct and all that stuff. But I did move out here for that. I didn't have a plan when I moved out here, so I kind of just like winged it as soon as that's kind of why I'm acting and doing stand up now because I didn't have a plan. I kind of just fell into it. So
Were you funny as a kid? Like when I'm always curious, especially about comedians, because I mean, like art, it's very subjective, and you can go to one that your person next to you think is hilarious, and you're like, I don't get it. But were you a kid that grew up that everybody was always laughing at? Were you joking, or when did you come into that part of your life?
I think I'd always been somewhat funny, like in a way that like I wasn't like when I was in school, there was like two different lives that I had growing up. I had the life at school. My school was like mostly Catholic Christian kids, 97% white. And then on the weekends, I would go to the temple where I would meet other Indian kids my age. And those, it would still be a pretty conservative kind of group. At least the parents were super conservative. But I got to kind of uh, get a little bit looser with my Indian friends. But the thing is, like, in school, I was kind of known as a little bit more of a smarter person that had some comedy chops that could make people laugh, but I wasn't like a class clown. And then when I go and hang out with my Indian friends on the weekends, I am very much the dumbest person there. So I had to bring something to the table. And I think what separated me early on was that I was funny and I could make people laugh. And that came from I was watching SNL reruns. Like it was like the Will Ferrell era. Like that
Oh,
was on
yes.
TV every summer day, like from 1 to 4. I wouldn't go play outside. I would be inside watching that. I would come home, watch Mad TV reruns on Comedy
Mhm.
Central, and then my mom would let me stay up until 11:40, 11:30 every day. Like I had a bedtime of 11 o'clock, but she let me stay up an extra 30 minutes to watch the monologue that Jay Leno would do every night. She
Oh, wow.
loved Jay Leno. So that was kind of my my introduction to what was funny, what wasn't funny, was watching Jay Leno with my mom. And then that went into Saturday Night Live, that went into the Tonight Show and all that. And then I kind of started performing at a very young age, comedy wise and dancing wise and stuff. So I got in front of crowds very young. And then in college, I kind of took that and I would write my own bits to host shows and cultural shows and stuff like that. So kind of
Hmm.
started at a young age as like kind of like a defense mechanism that I was like, this is the only way that I can like make my voice heard at all is to make jokes because I am not taking as many AP classes as anybody else in my Temple group.
Well, and you said that you went out there to direct and write, and now being in front of the camera. How does that? Are you adjusting to that? Does that feel normal now, or did you have imposter syndrome while you were doing that? Because you're like, I'm not supposed to be in front of the camera.
I still have imposter syndrome now.
Wow.
Like I've been out here for 10 years. And so I've kind of I've understood that like if I want to direct nobody, like I've done enough acting and comedy stuff that if I want to direct, nobody's going to take me seriously until like I get a couple projects under my belt. Like the time to kind of like break in as a director only is kind of past. That boat has kind of sailed, but so I am like coming to terms with it. Luckily for me, like if I had a preference, like I would still love to direct, but there's just nothing better than doing stand-up comedy and getting and like stand-up comedy when it's done well is the best feeling in the world.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Who are you watching now? I mean, I love now that there's so many streaming platforms because I love stand-up comedy. I would go every day if I could. I watch a ton of it online. I go to the comedy clubs. Like, who are you loving right now? Who are you
You
watching?
know, it's kind of weird. I don't watch a lot. There's a lot of like local comics here in LA that I love. Like some of my favorite funny people to watch are honestly just like friends of mine that haven't gotten specials yet.
Well,
But
tell
yeah,
them their
I
names. So at least people know who they are. Throw names out there.
oh man, everybody should check out Mike Falzone. Everybody should check out Ben Thompson. Everybody should check out Hannah Laskoski. There's so many, but I would say it's one of those things where I love watching people's sets at at the comedy store and like different comedy clubs. But when it comes to, and it's also like I don't watch a lot of movies either. I used to watch so many, but then I realized that I would watch them and I would like really like very obviously pick and choose parts of their set or parts of the movie and kind of incorporate it into my own thing. And then I was like, wait, hold on a second. Don't you can't you got to find your own stuff. So so I love being in the club live to watch it, but I don't really watch a lot when I'm at home because I kind of want to make my own material.
Do you have any dates coming up that people can check you out?
I'm actually so it's funny enough. I've was doing stand up super regularly until we just made a short film, we just made a movie, um, and that's been a 2 year long process. So like we finally wrapped it last year, and it's done. So I'm getting back out there right now to do stand up. I'm still like I'm back doing the open mic trail and stuff like that. So as far as shows go, I don't think I'm gonna have one until probably end of February, March-ish, because it's been a year of me kind of just sitting. I haven't done a show since like I want to say August, so still getting back into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean like yeah, this movie is kind of the thing that has been taking up most of my time.
Are you talking about Ronnie, California?
I am talking about Ronnie, California.
Tell everybody
Yes.
about that. Yeah, I'd love to talk about that.
So I love this movie so much. I'm so proud of it. There's so many great people that worked on it, and really like, and I'm not just saying this because I'm in it and I play the guy that the movie is about, but like, if you watch the movie, it is like we had about like 30, 35 people on this movie, and it's like everybody on this movie brought their A plus 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 game to it. And you could just when you're watching it, you're like, everybody on this movie was so good from top to bottom. But basically, it is a story of it's a proof of concept. So it's a short film. We're trying to turn it into a feature film, and it's the story of this guy, Ronnie, California, who comes to LA from India. He's an Indian immigrant in 1993, and he comes to America in hopes of pursuing the American dream of starting his own small business. But the only problem with that plan is that he's an idiot and he's really bad at it. So his sari shop is failing, and in order to make ends meet, he opens a gambling ring in the back room of the sari shop, which is obviously a no-no, no matter what culture you're a part of, but especially in the conservative Indian culture, they do not like that. So in the short, the rest of the community finds out, and they try and get him kicked out of the town, basically for doing that. And then, we're trying to make it into a feature which incorporates a lot more seedy elements. But basically, it's the story of like, uh, what are you willing to do in order to make the American dream work? And like it talks about how even though you want to achieve the American dream, like no matter how you do it, you still need to assimilate. Like this guy, he changes his name legally to Ronnie California, like, or to Ronnie Subramaniam. Basically, he gives himself an Americanized first name. Like he does all this stuff to ingratiate himself to the American community, and he kind of loses sight of who he was in the whole process. So it's kind of it talks about the immigrant experience in a way that you don't really see.
How do people watching that are interested in helping, so like how do you then take that next step into getting it into a feature? Like how can people help with that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So basically, the way I see it is that we kind of need to go on a two-pronged approach on this, where we've gotten into a couple festivals and we've had meetings with different producers and people that are very excited about the movie, which is great. But the other thing is, one thing that they love to hear is that our movie, the trailer for our movie has, I think it's like over 150,000 views across all social media platforms. And so like what we would really love is for that number to go like to skyrocket. If we could say that we have, 500,000 or like 1 million views across all platforms, that would be something that we could take to them and be like, because one of the things that they really are looking for are previously established either IP or names of talent attached to the thing. So in terms of like notoriety, people don't really know me like on a grand scale kind of thing. So if we could say like, hey, listen, there's a decent amount of the population that has seen the trailer. So like clearly there's a market for this. I think every time we've done something with the public on this movie, the public have responded in kind. So like we put out our first teaser video to get fundraising, and like fundraising, we set out 60 days for fundraising. We only needed to use 25 of those days. We hit our goal in 25 days. We raised $21,000 in 25 days. We raised 10K of that in the first 3 days. So like the audience, and we actually had to close down the fundraiser because if we had raised any more money, we would have had to pay taxes on it. So like we just closed it and we just opened up private funding after that. We posted the trailer and the trailer did gangbusters on all platforms. Everybody's kind of super psyched about it. So, and like we held an event in New York City and then that sold out within like, we had to sell standing room only tickets kind of thing. So every time we've engaged with the public, they've responded really, really well. So what we're basically, as childish as it is to ask, we're basically just asking for views and shares. So yeah,
that's my life every day.
I know, right? It's like the worst part. It's the worst part of this whole thing. But yeah, I mean, the trailer's on my social media, like on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. And then if you like the trailer, just DM me and I'll send you the whole link to the whole movie.
Oh, fun. Awesome. What do you love most about your life right now?
Really just that's a really great question, and I feel like that's a question that I feel like everybody needs to answer that once a day so that they prevent themselves from like dropping down into this doom scrolling behavior that we love so much. What do I love so much about my life right now? I would say I get like, I don't know, the way that I get to talk about my career versus the way that other people get to talk about theirs. Like I get sometimes paid to be a jackass, like it is the most beautiful thing in the world. Like I feel so lucky that I'm following this dream, because when you're following your dream like this, I think Bill Burr said, it's like, even if you fail at your dream, you're having a better time than when you fail at something else. So like I get to, like yesterday I hosted an event for like 3 hours until like 12:30 at night, and that was awesome. It was just like great that I get to do this. Just driving back, that's the only thing I got to think about. I'm just so grateful for the fact that I've been doing this for 10 years and people are still responding pretty well. So that's my favorite part about all this. I get to make people laugh for a living.
That's a good answer. It's a good life. What is the best way that people can connect with you?
My social media, I am at Yanand by YAN. There it is. Look at that. You've got graphics and everything.
I'm here for you.
Incredible. Yes.
Yeah.
That's yanandby.com. You can just take at yanandby and you find me everywhere.
Okay, good.
The
Thank you
direct
so
line
much
to
for
me.
being here.
Thank you so much, Ricky.
Appreciate
This
it.
has been this. I love, like I said, I love everything about this. This is awesome.
We'll come back anytime. Come back
I would
anytime.
love to. Good luck to you, and hey, best wishes to your dad.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate it.
Of
We're going
course.
to take a break and we'll be right back with another Richard right after this. Don't go away.
Your body is whispering secrets to you about the life you're here to live. Decode the messages about the joy you're meant to experience despite, or maybe because of, the condition that upended everything you thought you knew. If you're ready to make magic and meaning of your one wild and precious life, learn more about coaching with Nona at nonajordan.com.
We're back. I really want to set up a camera for what happens in here, what I'm running around doing during those little breaks. They should be 4 minutes long, but I try to make them as short as possible for you, but I need to do things around here. Okay, get ready to be swept away by an incredible story of resilience, family, and love that spans decades and continents. Our next guest is a retired chemistry professor, a deeply personal journey to honor his mother's legacy. He's here to share his extraordinary life story, her extraordinary life story, a tale of survival, identity, and the enduring power of the human spirit. You can read all about it in his book, Spring Flower. Please welcome the remarkable Richard Hsung. Let me put the right thing up here. There we go. Good morning.
Good morning, Richard.
Now, I just realized you are in Wisconsin. So what is the weather like?
So we've been blessed with a string of 40-degree days. So it's really difficult for us. And you will know, you're from Wisconsin.
Yes. Yeah. So good to know that the weather in Wisconsin is just as nice as the weather in California right now.
Yeah. So I'm not envious of your first guest. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being here. Richard was on earlier. We recorded, but we had some technical difficulties, and he was nice enough to come back to a live show. So thanks for being here again.
Thank you for having me.
We'll pretend we never chatted before. Tell everybody about Spring Flower.
Yes, that's a title of my mother's memoir. She worked on it for about 11 or 12 years, spanning 1980s and 1990s. And then I was able to complete it just about a couple years ago. She was unable to finish because she passed away in 2014. That's when I took over the project. Yeah.
And there are 3 volumes to this story, so it's clearly quite a life. How did it end up being 3 volumes, and what can people expect to find in the book?
Yes, in some format, it's unfortunate because not everyone will sit down and write about their life, let alone a trilogy, especially someone like my mother who was really actually an ordinary human being. But the impetus for writing the memoir was to remember all the extraordinary people she had the fortune of encountering. But neither of us knew how to write a book. And the worst mistake we ever made was neither of us thought about asking someone who had written a book. And so we just started. And then somewhere along the line, she said something about a good book required 1 million words. So we just kept on writing and writing. And it's much less of a memoir. It's more of a chronicle or archive. And so it's very detailed. And she was blessed with a photographic memory. And I had that as my blueprint, so to speak, to complete her memoir. But it wasn't until I was about to finish I realized that no, you don't need 1 million words to make a book, because the good King James Bible is only about 700,000, and the Old Testament was about 600,000. We're way passing that, but luckily I had excellent editors and publishers, very generous ones, help me parcel them into 3 volumes. And so it's long, but although all 3 volumes are contiguous and the stories are on a chronological order, but 3 books actually can stand on their own, representing 3 distinctly different periods in modern history, Chinese history, as well as world history. So yes.
How far was the book? How far had your mom gotten in the book, and how much did you have to finish?
By the time I inherited 3 boxes full of her manuscripts,
Oh my
she had
gosh.
well over 1,000 pages of finished chapters and unfinished chapters, and title, a theme, or some kind of short description. And so she was well into her years in China. She was, again, she was born in 1931 and adopted by American medical missionaries who were working in China at the time. And then during the wartime, World War II, she had the opportunity to live in Yonkers, New York, with her American parents, I guess adopted American parents. But after the war, they went back to China, and then during the Korean conflict, I guess my American grandparents were driven out of China instantly. My mother was trapped in China because she was away, about 300 miles away, as a freshman in college. And so she ended up spending 30 years in China before returning to the US. And in 1980, she brought me to the States. And so she was well into her years, again, in the 1960s and 70s, China, her life in China. Yes.
I mean, there's so obviously so much personal things in this story. Was there anything in there that surprised you or that you didn't know about her and her life?
A lot. I didn't know much about her at all, actually. She presented a very interesting persona to me. She was this brilliant, she became an ophthalmologist. She was a physician. And she was this brilliant human being, capable of many things, and very hard or difficult to find a moment that she would show her emotion to me. But working on her memoir, I realized that she was just another human being like myself, made many mistakes when she was young, and she was afraid, she was lonely, she struggled at many things. So that was very profound for me to realize that my mother was not this person that I put on a pedestal, but rather, again, an ordinary human being.
Yeah, I was just talking to someone about that the other day, about when you realize that your parents are people and that's all they are, and that that's a huge transition for people to realize. And I think also for parents, because they have that, like they're always trying to be the best for their children and kind of put themselves on that pedestal too. And then you realize, like, hey, we're both just trying to survive this whole thing and we don't know what we're doing.
Yes. So writing the memoir was a very good process for me, a healing process for me, right? Because I no longer I saw my mother from a different perspective.
Right? Yeah. Who would you say that the book is for? Like, who should be reading this book?
People who are interested in history, not just Chinese history, but modern history. And I know my mother and I are just at best amateur historian, but really the historical backdrops are percolating in the background, and my mother had the fortune of encountering many of those historical events. But I think overall the book is really about the people she encountered, the extraordinary people she encountered, and that would start from her adopted American parents who were missionaries, helping Chinese people in dire straits. And so, yeah.
I know you said before you never really ever wanted to write a book like this. Are you done now? Are you going to be working on other books? Because this is obviously a labor of love that has taken a long time.
Yes, I sort of promised myself to never write another memoir, let alone a trilogy, right? So, but yeah, so I found that I enjoy writing short stories, 1,000 words, 800 words, not a million words, 800 words, essays, and just recording some interesting events that I've encountered in my own life. Yes.
So that'll be coming out hopefully soon.
In 10 years, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, then good. Every 10 years you can stop by and we can chat about it.
Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit about the publishing? Because I know a lot of authors watch this show and people who write and maybe have never published before. What was the publishing process like for you, especially on something this thick? The
Yes.
3 volumes of this. Did you self-publish? Did you go through? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yes, so the name of the publisher we ultimately went through was Earnshaw Books, based in Hong Kong, and then the I guess the CEO of the publisher is named Graham Earnshaw. He's an Australian British citizen, but who lives in China with his family, and has extensive understanding of the culture in China, or culture in the East as well as the West. So that was a perfect match, and we somehow stumbled into him and his boutique publishing venue, and so so he understood what my mother and I were trying to convey in her memoir. He understood the historical backdrop, again, in the 20th century of China and also the world. Right? So we were fortunate to find that. And initially, yes, we were thinking about maybe publishing it on our own, but going through Earnshaw Books was a wonderful turnout event. Yeah.
Okay, good. What is the best way that people can connect with you? And is the book, I'm assuming, available wherever you can get books?
Yes, Amazon.com, Barnes Noble. If you type Spring Flower and then Jean Perkins, my mother's name, it will come up. And I recently published a website solely dedicated to the book, to the memoir. It's called Richard. Thank you so much.
I got you.
Yes, it's right there. Yeah. Perfect.
Okay, great. Before we leave today, can you play a quick game with me? It's not even really a game, but
okay.
where'd it go? Okay, it's called, I just made it up yesterday. It's called Fave Rave. And you're gonna first pick a number 1 through 10.
Okay, how about 6?
6. Okay, so in here I'm gonna pick 6 things out, and they're all questions about your favorite something.
Oh my goodness. It's a good thing I didn't pick 9, right? So
yeah, yes. All right. And if you have all perfect answers, I don't know, I'm just making this up. The entire audience is going to win a copy of your book. They're very excited about it.
Lots of pressure.
Ready? Yeah. Yes, they're waiting for you. Your favorite fabric?
I guess I would say silk.
Okay, that's a good one. Your favorite place to visit?
Hong Kong.
Okay. Your favorite part of today so far?
This show?
Oh, stop. I'm an automatic winner. Everybody's getting the book. Your favorite actress?
Oh, easily. Sandra Bullock.
I love her. Yes. Good answer. I'll take that answer. She's good. Let's see. We have 2 more. Your favorite type of weather?
Sunny California.
Yes. Yep. Final one. Your favorite quote or motto?
Quote. Oh, yes. Someone said, even, I guess, when oppression reigns supreme, let it not be through me. I guess Alexander Solzhenitsyn, a Russian dissident.
Good one. What's your favorite thing about your life right now? That's, I guess, the final one.
Being retired, finally get the chance to do things potentially to do things that I love to do myself, even if I don't get paid for it.
It's still fun to have fun, right?
Yes.
Good. The book is called Spring Flowers, right there, available wherever you get your books. Richard, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, Richard.
Yeah, come back anytime. I'll be here.
Okay.
All right, we'll take a break and be right back after this.
You know what would be better than watching this commercial? Watching your commercial. Join the party that is Make Your Day Richer TV by advertising your brand, business, or project during the show. Use us to promote what you're doing to make our viewers' day richer. Scan the QR code or visit makeyourdayricher.com/advertising to start promoting today.
So happy to be getting a copy of Richard's book. I'm so glad that he did that for you all. Thanks for watching, everybody. Go make your day richer. Go make somebody else's day richer. You've made mine by watching the show, and I love you for it. We'll be back tomorrow, all new, with David Albin, who's the host of the podcast Operation Do No Harm. And Marcy Axelrod is here to talk to us about showing up in life. All right. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.